If I don't have you to hold me tight, if I don't have you to lie with me at night, if I don't have you to share my sight and to kiss me and dry my tears when I cry, well, I think that I would have someone else. If I didn't have you, someone else would do. Our love is 1 in a million. You couldn't buy it at any price. But of the 9,999,100,000 other possible loves, statistically, some of them would be equally nice. Or maybe not as nice, but smarter than you. Or dumber, but better at sport or tracing. I'm just saying, I really think that I would probably have someone else. That's from the song If I Did Not Have You by Tim Michelin, and it goes against everything that we have learned about soulmates and the one. And to be quite honest, it may sound pessimistic or cold to some, but I think depending on how you interpret it, it's quite healthy or a healthy way of looking at relationships and love. So I don't believe in the one. I don't think there is someone out there who is supposed to be perfect for us. I don't believe that a happily ever after awaits us all. I think we want to believe it to comfort ourselves, to make ourselves believe that things are the way that they are for a reason, and that reason is fate. It helps us make sense of the way things haven't worked out with anyone else yet, or why we have yet to fall in love. The soulmate myth promises that amidst the dizzying and often confusing landscape of dating apps, there is one match out there that will make sense of it all. It promises an anchor of modern life that many find appealing. The idea of finding your soulmate might be a balm after a bad date, or create a sense of structure and narrative to your own love story. So okay, why not just let ourselves be swept away by this idea of a soulmate? I think the destiny mindset versus growth mindset does a very good job at illustrating it. Before we dive into it, I have something very exciting to tell you. I have a giveaway for you. It's my first one ever, so stick to the end of this segment, which is so kindly sponsored by Skillshare, to find out more. Skillshare, as you know, is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring and creative classes for anyone who loves learning. You can take classes on things like productivity, video editing, and so much more. I've taken classes on Skillshare for years and years, and I've learned so much, like the time that I learned how to draw in Procreate on my iPad, and it's definitely one of my favorite subscriptions. A couple of months ago, I launched my very own class called Memoir Journaling, Make Your Life Richer Through Stories. My class has gotten such positive reviews so far, and I just love interacting with all of you over there. And my class is also included as one of the most popular classes of September 2022. It's all been very exciting. Now, together with Skillshare, I will be giving away a 1-year subscription to one of you. And to participate, you just need to sign up using the link in my description box and take my memoir journaling class from beginning to end and create a class project. The winner will be picked on November 4th, and I will leave more information on all of this down below. But regardless if you decide to participate in the giveaway or not, you can still get a 30-day free trial of Skillshare using the link in my description box, so you can take my class or any class that you want. There's no commitment, you have nothing to lose, but so much value to gain, so thank you so much for your support. Alright, so the idea here is that soulmate believers tend to have a destiny mindset, whereas soulmate skeptics have a growth mindset. So basically, destiny believers are thinking things like, I am destined to be with a specific person who is my soulmate and the one meant for me. They tend to use language such as should when talking about love. So we shouldn't have this problem, or it shouldn't feel like this. Growth believers would be thinking, relationships progress slowly and we grow together to fit each other. Love is built and relationships require effort. Soulmate believers often ask themselves things like, is this my person? Are they the one? Can I do better? They spend more energy looking for and trying to find this alleged the one person rather than cultivating existing relationships. Whereas people with growth beliefs often ask things like, how can I be a better partner? What can I do to make this better? And are we a good fit for each other? Destiny believers often have shorter, more intense relationships in their search for the perfect one. Constantly on the lookout for deal breakers, they often view compromise as settling. When something goes wrong or something negative happens, they view it as an error or a sign that they should move on to find their person. Growth believers, on the other hand, focus on exploring new ideas with each other and finding solutions with their partner. They don't view compromise as settling. They often view it as growth. When something negative occurs, they don't view it as a way out, but rather something to work out. Studies have shown that growth believers often have more successful, satisfying relationships, in part because they believe that successful relationships are cultivated and evolve over time. Destiny believers, however, have this expectation that if they were truly meant to be with this person, it would require little to no effort, and they would just understand each other and their needs and desires. Now, this behavior has been linked to decreased relationship satisfaction, increased relationship distress, and destructive problem-solving responses in relationships. Now, whether we believe in something or not is only interesting because it affects how we behave and act. Now, in her book, Loving Bravely, which I haven't read, I've only read this part of it, it's written by Alexandra Solomon. She writes, "I find the question, do you believe in X or not, to be rather strange. The belief is out there already. So really the question should go something like, do you embrace a belief in X or not? How does a belief in X serve you or not? Does it enhance or constrain you, open or close you, elevate or sadden you?" Now, what do you believe? Do you believe that love is the search for the one who was meant for you all along? Or do you believe that it's choosing a person to have a lifelong, compromise-filled journey with? I read somewhere that a soulmate is a worthy travel companion. So I guess if I were to believe in soulmates, somehow I would be willing to subscribe to that definition of it. Now, my opinions on things change. I'm sure I've said something in a video in the past that contradicts this, and what I'm about to say, or the things that I've said, may contradict something that I'm going to say in the future. But as for right now, I believe that love is an ongoing choice, and I will link a great article on this. Now, when I say choice, I'm not necessarily talking about lust and attraction. Those things often happen before we even know what the hell is going on. In other words, hormones. But so basically, love is not, based on what I've read and what I currently believe, this out of control thing to be left to faith. That's why I really don't like sayings like, if it's meant to be, it'll be. Probably not. It'll be if two people make the choices necessary for it to be. Lasting love requires conscious decision-making, this writer writes in the article. And she also writes that at first, hormones are leading the way, but lasting love can't rely on hormones to carry it forward. Building lasting love requires action and effort. And this could be acts of compassion and appreciation and reliability. It's showing affection, appreciation, and gratitude. And these are all things that we choose. Now, does that mean that doing these things are guaranteed to build and lead to lasting love? Of course not. Nothing in life is guaranteed except death. I'm sorry, that was too dark. I don't want to end this video on a dark note. Ooh, okay. Did you know that some species of seahorses mate for life? They have this very unique courtship, which is that they dance for one another and they display various colors, they swim alongside one another, and they spin around each other. Isn't that the most wholesome thing you've heard all week?